What's up, you beautiful people? It is still a soggy, rainy, wet, cold day in New Hampshire. And you know what? Leaves fell again, so it's like a second fall. And it's quite comical. So it's a little chilly, but we're keeping on pushing. So today I have an interesting build. Now, this build would absolutely suck on foam, so I decided to go ahead and 3D scan it. Now, if I could find the videos of the 3D scan, I'll throw them in here, but I went ahead and 3D scanned it. We are doing an HK USP 45 with a GG&G adapter, rail adapter, because HK has a proprietary rail, and the Streamlight TLR2. Not my choice of light, but it is what it is. It's what the customer has, and this is what we're going to do. If you're not familiar, the TLR2 is literally the same body as the TLR1, with the exception of a laser bolted to the bottom of it, and that is it. So a TLR2 will not fit a TLR1 holster, although a TLR1 may fit a TLR2. I'd have to try it after the fact, but mine is still broken. I'll do a video on how to do that after. But we need to make a holster for this. Now, this holster is right hand outside the waistband. We are going to be mounting a QLS fork to a modular case adapter. I forgot who made this, but I'll put all the links in the description of where I get this stuff too. So we got this right here. This is gonna be all right here, and then we got the QLS fork going on the holster itself. Now, after I 3D scanned it, we went ahead and cut a mold out of pretty thick HDPE, but this is a big boy. This right here, this mold is 10 inches wide and almost 10 inches long. So it is a big boy, and it is a big light. But we're gonna see, I did forget to do one thing. My mold does not have threaded barrel, but we're gonna add that on there, and we're gonna have fun with this. So let's do an outside the waistband, right hand, level 2 in OD green with custom image. We're doing kind of a black multicam Night Stalker, but we're going to be adding the OD green to it, hence the OD green. Now, the reason why there's so much white in the custom image, that print, is you can't sublimate white. So anything that's white is going to be the color underneath. So that white will be OD green. And it's kind of an interesting concept to try and get a hold of. It is a little confusing in the beginning, but it goes right to it. So let's go to town. Now, the first things first, we need to map out where we're going to be placing the blocking. And I do have to add a little bit more blocking as well, as we're going to do it for ambi, just in case I want to do it in the future. So we got our controls right here. We don't have them on this side. They do make ambidextrous controls, so we're just going to go ahead and add blocking right here. No big diggy. No big diggy. No big deal whatsoever. And we do have to add for the threaded barrel. So I do have the barrel. You can see it. So we're going to go ahead and add these on. And those are good to go. That's just going to be a piece of tape to hold that on. This mold took like, God, first step was like, I don't know, 2.5 hours. And then it was like 6 hours to cut it in the other end. It took some time. And then I had to clean it, you know, a little bit of burrs in there. Machining HDP, man, whew, is that terrible. A little piece of crap right there. Yeah, there we go. All right, so let's get this here. Now, we do have a hammer, so we have to go pretty high with this because we can't go all the way down like we want to. You want to be able to have it cocked and going. Now, I know the pivot point is inside, so it doesn't really stick that far out. And we're going to have to go, yeah, I think right around there would be good. So, yeah, that should be fine right there. Let's line this up. It's going to go right there. And we just have to block underneath it. with appropriate
blocking. Come on. And then we got to do, nope, that's too big. And we got to do the belt mount. All right, let's check this one out. All right, there. Perfect. All right. It's HDP, so slippery. You know what? And the crappy part is I'll probably never make a holster for this combo again. But this right here is practice on machining and programming. So, I can't complain. I like challenges. Doesn't mean I'm going to do every single one, though. So just take that in consideration. All right, so it's going to go right here. Yeah, looks good. All right. Okay. Now underneath that, obviously we got pretty ample room here. So this is going to go right about there, even though this is on a drop as well. So let's get our T-blocking. It's going to go right there. So we get to too big. Nope, still too big. These things, you gotta find the right one. There it is. And what do we have that'll fit down here? That's not perfect. Okay. We'll go ahead and lock that in place. Right. Okay, now I'm gonna have to block for the ambidextrous. It's gonna go all the way down. God, I wonder if I should just do that. So it's really gonna go here, but I don't want to cut blocking. So we don't want it to overhang. Nope. Guess we be cutting. That one's going to go to about there. Which means we'll cut this and round this off. This I got to do in a cutting wheel. It's steel. Now we have that cut and made, and the last step is to be adding that. I don't want to go too far over because we're going to end up cutting it. So I'm going to add this guy for support, and our pivot point is right here. So I'll leave this pretty much just like that. And I'd be happy with that. Next, sublimation.
I decided to change it up a little bit to kind of give it more pizzazz. So what I did is I grabbed some 020 thick black, really thin stuff. I went back to the green, so we're gonna mount the black on the green and then do the sublimation on the other side. So it's gonna be black on the inside and then everything we want on the outside. So it should be pretty cool. So let's hope it works. Gotta get it really hot for a while and get it in there.
Ooh, ah.
Now we are in the press, and because I decided to do dual layer, I adjusted the tension on this to go pretty heavy. Now, what happens when you go dual layer like this and you go a little heavier than normal is those two pieces, as they heat, they will bond together, and then when they cool, you cannot separate them. So this is a good way to do double print, or double image. Wow, double layer. So once we get the double layer all set, and then with the extra oomph, that print should get in there pretty well, and it is damn time for a haircut. But anyways, that's going to be in there for a few minutes. We're already set up, so we're just waiting. Big molds suck. See if that holds it down. Nope. And always remember, the thicker the mold, the more decks you need. Now, this mold being as big as it is, I'm not getting a piece large enough out of the 12 or 1 foot by 2 foot that I'm getting. And I don't have a giant sheet of OD green on me. That's the only thing that really hurt me now. That was when I made this mold. All I had was an 1.5 inch thick piece of HDPE. I should have cut it on a 1 inch, but I didn't have it. So take that into consideration. The thicker it is, the more kydex you're going to use. Kind of common sense at that point.
Well, I think that came out rather good. That was the problem area right there. Again, thick mold. But I like that. You can see the inside, how everything is exactly how I wanted it. So OD green camo, black. I already went ahead and I drilled a couple areas, but I got to do a few more things. Since this is getting quite a bit of stuff, we're going to have to map it out one at a time. So we drilled a pilot hole here so we know where this is going. And it's a good idea to drill from the bottom side out when you're doing dual layer. That way you don't like push it and separate it, but if you let the drill bit do its thing, nothing's really going to happen. All right. So where the indent is, this, clean this real quick. And where's the hood? Here's the hood. Oh, I never drilled the hood out. There you go. And we'll grab a random bolt. And we're doing this for one reason, and that is to get the perfect layout for this. Because if you're off just a little, man, it's a pain to mount. So this will give you guaranteed perfection every time. And since this is going to be ODBB, we're drilling this to 1/4 inch. And as you see here, I did mark it for a 3rd hole. I'm not going to drill that 3rd hole until after we fold it. Because I don't know if it should be here or over here, but it depends on how we cut this. So I'm going to drill those after the fact. But until then, we'll go ahead and clean these holes. I'm going to clean the inside. Oh, I'm so happy that print came out good. The extra pressure really helps when you're doing this. Alright, now I'm just going to go on the bandsaw and I'm going to cut out the outer circumference. Another great thing about the gusset when you're doing dual layer is that it's going to hold it in place. Go ahead, drill that, cut it, do my thing. Well, this is all mounted up, ready to go. So now we're going to go ahead, get our heat strip heated up so we can go ahead and fold it and go from there. So one step closer to being done. Now some more fun. We got this in here. Now we have to figure out where we want to do everything. So this will come straight up. Right, you could go straight like this, cut over, or we could angle it. I mean, this is outside the waistband. I'm going to keep it just like that. It'll cover the barrel coming out fully. And then this one, we're going to pretty much cut that line right there. And that's going to come up. But we need to see where this lines up, because I'm either going to put it here or here, because I really would like 3, because this is a large piece. Put that here, and so move this way. All right, so that's going to come. Honestly, what we're going to do is I'm going to hit it right there, right? And we'll come down, and that is going to go like to here. But after that, I'm going to hit it down to that, and then go just like that. Or, actually, you know what? Let's do this right here. We'll come down, and then over, and then that way, this can continue right there, like so. And we'll cut that out slowly. And that's what we'll do. So we'll drill that hole and then make it like that. I'm happy with that. Oh. And if you're wondering how I got the spacing, I don't know if I filmed it, I don't remember, but I just went like that. So spacing. But now I'm going to bring this over there, and I'm going to cut everything on the bandsaw. As you can see, we have the rough cut, so I decided, yeah, to go down, round that, and then over, plenty of room, and there we are. So now, we're going to get it together, get some hardware in, get it built up, get it on the belt attachment, and then get it out the door. So let's go ahead, clean the edges, round them, do everything we got to do, wipe it down. I am going to have to adjust the retention. The retention spot is okay. It's where we normally would put it on a TLR2, which is right behind the bezel, but I feel like right behind the rail adapter would be better. So I'm going to heat this up and push it in as well and do a couple things. But for now, let's round the edges and get this all squared up. Now this is coming out pretty freaking awesome. So one great thing I love about sublimating in-house is that once you clean it, it just pops. And I mean pops. So look at that. So you got the green, the black, the gray. That looks phenomenal. So let's add some hardware, because this is going to have the QLS fork on it. Now the good thing with this setup is, you know, if you want to take the fork off, which I don't know why you would want to, you'll be able to directly mount this to the platform that we're using, which is this guy right here. So you could directly mount that, but I'm not sure if that's going to be enough clearance. Probably not. So it's a good thing we're putting this fork on anyway. So with those in there, we'll let that be. We can go ahead and mount the hood. Make sure we get the crap off of that. See, perfect fit every time. And let's get some purple juice on this. And these screws are way overkill because they're 1/2 inch. It's 1/2 inch bolts, and these are 3/4. Oh, sorry, not 1/2 inch bolts. These are 1/2 inch threaded posts, and these are 3/4. So there is a lot being attached. And I do that so we don't have to ever worry about those puppies backing out. And it moves. I'm gonna throw some lube on it. All right, here we go. Now again, this is a thick holster because it is 0.08 green and then 0.2, so you're looking at 0.1 inch of holster. So we're gonna get this over here. Because of the width, we are gonna have to modify, or not modify, but at least bend the hood differently, which is no big deal at all. I'm gonna throw that right there. And then the cool thing is we could heat this and manipulate it any way we want. Again, let the drill do the work since we're drilling from the outside in. Make sure you clean that hole. We got the Noga RC2000, which is available on Holstersmith, actually. Alright, so let's see what this looks like all mashed up. Because, like I said, we'll have to heat it up because it's going to drag. We don't want it to drag. So let's just get the bolt in. See how it works. Yeah, so it doesn't really rub, but I'm still going to warm this up so it's a little bit better in there. But regardless, that's in there. So we'll keep that in there for now. Now we can move on to retention. Let's see here. Those bushings are going to be a little thick, but I don't want to use 1/4 inch. I'm just going to make these a little bit larger than 1/4 inch. Is what it is. A little larger than 1/4 inch, a little smaller than 3/8. All right, and we got 3 1/2-inch screws, 3/4 inch threaded post. So let's throw these in there. Oh. Oh, this is thick. See where we're at for retention. All right, let's check it out. Not as much as I'd like, which we knew. All right. Actually, that actually holds pretty damn good. Not too bad. All right. I am going to add a little bit more, though. It can definitely use it. But this is... I mean... But that's in there. That's in there pretty good. So, got that. And with that all the way down, that's going to be perfectly fine. Boom. There you go. Thumb placement pretty good. As you hit, you draw, your palm goes right back in. Cool. So let's throw in the QLS. Okay, grab the larger. Damn, that's a good looking holster. I am saving this print too, by the way, so I'll be able to do this combo again. All right, oh baby. So here's a holster, and let's get it on this mount. Now, I've never used this mount before, so we're going to learn together. I'm not going to Loctite anything. I will let the owner Loctite everything because what works for me probably doesn't work for him. All right, we got hard plastic, 1/4 inch, looks like rubber. There's a hard plastic. I figured there'd be 3 of those. Okay, now, sometimes, I mean, I rarely use the hardware that comes with this stuff, only because I feel like what I can grab is better. So let's just go through this and see what's up. All right. So we know this is the bottom, and of course there's no like instructions how to do it. So this is the bottom, all right, and then this goes right here in the back, and that's for the belt. And then this, I think this is a little extension, and it bolts right there. I'll have to look at the picture, but okay. So let's do this. So this is gonna have to go here. So we'll mount that directly to it, but I'm not gonna use that hardware. I can't use that hardware when it's made for this hardware. I just can't. See the size of those? And these are, they're locking. So they just go in here, like so, and they sit flush. go. And you mount them on here. Yeah, I'm not going to use that either. Let's see here. Are these long enough? If not, I will grab more. Plenty. Okay, get this in the hole. Here we go. All right. Square that up. So you want those to sit flush, which is probably the reason why. I might have to go with a smaller one. Yeah, those aren't sitting flush, which means, well, there are smaller versions of that. So let's, yeah. So what was going on is the spikes are hitting this platform. Yeah, you can see the spikes. So what I could do, I'm going to shave those spikes down so I could use them. But before I do that, let's try the little guys. Nope, same. All right, so I'm gonna shave those down because I want to use these. All right, really no big deal. You can see the shiny spots. I shaved them off. It literally took 10 seconds per. Because like I said, if I could use these, I will. It's exactly what we want. And as always, I say it every time, do not tighten any of them until you get all of the hardware in. That's something my father always taught me. 1, 2, 3. All right, and let's give this a quick check. Yep, bada bing. Yeah, that is close. I personally am not a fan of this mount, but it is. We can also put the standoff in here to bump it out, or we can loosen the top up a little bit. If we do that, though, I am going to be... Oh, that's actually pretty good. Let's see where we are with that. Yeah, better, but... Okay. So, we have to get this on. Now, these right here, they sandwich in your belt. So, let's see here. So we know these are going to go here. And then it's going to be that guy. Actually, before I do anything, I should swap this out. And probably that. Yeah. And of course, all this hardware is going to go to them, or go with them. And yes, that's what this is for. So this goes here, and the strap goes around it. So, again, we are all learning together. Okay, so we got that on the top side, which means this has to be on the back side. Which that's only going on one way. And again, I'm not going to do any Loctite. I'll let end user figure that out. Because the way I set it up here, he may not like. Okay. Now we will go back to this. Right, so we don't lose any of this stuff. It's weird that they came with 3 spacers. Okay, throw that in there as well. Alright, because I'm going to send this box to him. Alright, now this is going to go through it, which means we're going to pump that up. Get that little guy out. Put this through. And we could run this through. Like so. Run this back down this way. Bump that out. This guy underneath. You do a loop-de-loop and pull, and your thigh strap is looking cool. Alright, so there's that. Let's get this back to here. Clean out the area a little bit. Alright, and then holster. Bada bing. Not too shabby.
Tell me, this doesn't look gorgeous. Tell me what you think of this pattern, what you think of the final result, and tell me what you think of these plate adapters. This one was off Amazon. It's the one that you chose, but it will do its job. It'll do a lot of things, but I would like it if it's longer, because this is going to go right in your crotch, but it is what it is. But other than that, this came out gorgeous. Honestly, it reminds me of the movie Predator. I don't know why. Maybe it's because it's just the type of camo, but it just looks absolutely gorgeous. Now, again, this is kind of my take on it. This is it's printed on OD green, and then it's got the black and gray in it. And obviously, if you print colors on another color, it changes. So if you get color, if you get gray on here, then it turns to a different color. So, and that's just how it works. It really is. But this is absolutely phenomenal. I am happy with it, and I'm going to be boxing it up. I'll send pictures to the customer right now, and go from there. But it's 11. It's a quarter after 11, and I have probably about 20 minutes left on my 3D printer after a 6-hour print, and I'm going to start it again before I go inside. That way, when I wake up, I'm going to have another trim jig done, so I don't have to worry about it. But man, this came out good. Big shout out to Holstr Smith. They supplied all the material that I used for this, obviously except for this, but all the material you see in the holster itself, they supplied, and I can't be more thankful to them. Those guys are absolutely awesome. I cannot wait to, I mean, I'll give them a warning, but I am going to be driving down there at some point to say hi, just to poke my head in, and I'll film it all for you guys too. When will that happen? I'm not sure yet, but as soon as I find a car, if I find one in Florida, I'm stopping in. But on that note, I have a couple other things to do. Actually, a lot of it. I'm going to keep trucking on these orders to get them out to you guys. I appreciate the patience. I got a lot of stuff going on over here, so we got some cool videos coming up. I am actually trying to become a dealer for these. This is a flashbang, 120 decibels on a 3-second fuse. I will do a review on these, but I'm looking to become a dealer. which means I could supply these to you guys, depending on the state that doesn't allow it. So, you know, California, Massachusetts, New York, sorry guys, you aren't going to get these. But I'm going to be designing single holders and double. I did buy 2 of them. I got another one over on the CNC. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to have you guys follow along in that process as well for designing this. And pretty much what it's going to be is the spoon is going to be covered. So the way we'll have it is it'll be like this right here. Spoon's going to be on the outside because it'll be very thick if it's on the inside. But spoon will be on the outside, and this actually has a shelf to hang on. But that way, if you're running through the woods and something grabs this and it pulls it, the spoon is still going to be held in with the kydex. So that's going to be incorporated into it, and I'm going to be making these. So stay tuned to that, along with smoke grenades. So we got those in-house too, and I'm not sure when it's going to happen, but it's going to happen. And again, I'll take you guys for the ride. But enough yapping. Thank you guys so much. Leave a comment what you think of this holster, the process. If you have any ideas, any questions, I am more than happy to answer what I see, and we'll go from there. And I will see you guys on the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Keep moving forward. I love you.